Hi, today we're looking at something a little bit different and I'm showing you how I'm preparing the photos for my Plan Ahead album. So this gives you a little look at how I have all of the photos from the whole trip all in one library. Now I use iPhoto for this, and you can use different kinds of software depending on what you prefer and what you're set up with and all of that. But the idea is that essentially iPhoto calls these events, but they could be folders, they could be anything. But I took from that massive amount of photos and broke them down into the separate folders for all the different places and sometimes specific things. Like this one, you'll see these are different towns in Vietnam, but we took a lot of trains and I put all the train photos into one folder so that I could tell that specific story and something like that. Anyway, most of them are just by city. And the part of the trip that I want to focus on is this bit at the end. And so I have my folders here that I'm going to be working with. I'm going to start mostly with the Santiago folder. And when I open that up, I then am going to be working with those photos and these 3 albums that I've set up. So I want to use a few pictures in my album that are really big, and I'll print those at 8 by 12. And then I want most of the photos to be 4 by 6 and a few of them to be 3 by 4. I have the 3 albums set up there so that I can take the photos here, drop them into that album, which doesn't actually remove them from this event. It just puts them in one place so that I can access just those, but it doesn't actually move the file anywhere, which is very handy in iPhoto. And that way I'll be able to order the prints online because I'm going to do so many photos and I know I'm planning ahead what sizes they're going to be. Printing online is going to be way more useful for me because I will get better price and better quality than printing at home in any option. So then I use a star system to figure out what I'm doing. So I tend to go through and look if pictures are going to go together. So you can see here a few that I've already marked ages ago actually, that these with the stars are things I want to scrapbook. And I quite often find that when I'm looking at them in the library like this, I can find photos that I will want all on one page together. So I'm going to take this one, this one, this one, and they're all going to be on the same layout. I know in my head that 3 4 by 6 photos works on a single page for me. So I'm going to take those and drop them into my 4 by 6 folder. I know that 3 works on a 3 4 by 6 works on a 12 by 12, not only because I've done it before, but because I've done it specifically in that album. And that's why I wanted to go through that whole album, all 4 volumes of it, before I started working on this particular project, because it's been a while since I've worked in that album and I want to make sure that I don't want to just repeat everything, but I don't want to have such an obvious change in the style from what I did a few years ago to what I'm going to do now. So by refreshing my mind and going, oh yeah, this was a time when I quite often used 3 4 by 6 on a page all in a row, then I know that that will work. So they go in the 4 by 6 folder. A photo like this that I know is going to be, it has so much to take in and it has this nice framing to it. And I don't have something else that is a logical photo to go next to it. These are basically the same photo. This one has a bit better color. So that one I'm going to choose to make really big, and I just do that for photos that are a little bit extra special. And that's basically what I'm going to do, go through this whole folder and figure out which photos I want at which size. And then I'll show you how I'm going to turn my 3 by 4 photos into something that I can print. The 4 by 6 and the 8 by 12 are really easy to do because I just go to the online photo printing shop that I use, and both 4 by 6 and 8 by 12 are an easy option. That's just it. You select the photo, you say I want to print it, it asks you what size, and both the 4 by 6 and the 8 by 12 are there in the list. Now 3 by 4 is not in the list at the shop that I use all the time. So while I'm here in the UK, I use Photobox. If I'm in the States, I use one of 2 options. I use either York Photo or Persnickety Prints. Persnickety Prints does allow you to just print in 3 by 4. York and Photobox do not. So I create a new 4x6 with two 3x4s on the top, and I do that in an app on my phone, or I can do it in Photoshop. So I will show you how I do that, and then I just upload, place my order, and then I get into the next bit of my process, which is to plan out the pages with some sketches. So if I'm going to use Photoshop to make my 3x4 photos, I open a new document. I go to the sizes for the photo and I choose landscape 4x6 in inches and open that document. Then I go back to iPhoto and select the photos that I want to print at 3x4, highlight them and drag them over to Photoshop, where they will open here, but they're going to be great big. So I select all that, Command A, and copy. Then I click to my white canvas and I paste, but it's going to be huge, but I do both images first, and then select all. Then I can resize them both at the same time. Okay, so let me bring my layer palette over here where you can see it. So I have the two photographs here. I can select both of them, and Command T lets me change the size, and Command 0 lets me see the whole thing on the screen. So if I hold down Shift and resize, I'll just make it a bit bigger so you can see. Hold down Shift and resize, then it won't skew, it won't make anything all out of proportion. And then I hit Enter when I have the size that I want, and then I just go select one layer so that I can move it over. So now I have two photos on one 4x6. And because the ratio is a little bit different, I can move them around if I want them a little bigger, a little smaller, anything like that. Photoshop gives me the flexibility to do all that to every dot on the 4x6 canvas. If I use a photo app, I'm a little bit more limited, but to be honest, most of the things I would do are still right there in the photo app. At any rate, when my canvas is what I want, then I save the image, put that in the folder, and then I have all my 3x4s ready to upload if I want to order prints of 3x4 photos from a service that doesn't allow 3x4 as an automatic option. The other way I can do it is on my phone, so I'll change over to that and show you how I use an app to create those images.
And I do it with the Project Life app. And in the Project Life app, instead of going to the full page option, I'm going to this option that has the little collage. Now it will default to two 3x4s on a 4x6, which is what this is, but you can choose different options here. Okay, and it tells you the size underneath. Okay, so I'm doing this. Then I choose, you can put a journaling card there from your Project Life library, or you can choose a photo. So I go to my photo stream and I choose the picture I want, and it puts it there. Then I pick the other one, and if I want to just go ahead and add another one of those, then I'm done. Then if I want to move anything around, I can move it just like that. I can edit the brightness, the contrast, or the saturation. I can turn it, yeah. And you just tap into the background when you want to move around. If I wanted to move this one, I can come back and do that. I can make it big, I can make it small, whatever. Okay, so that's how I would do that, to put two onto one picture. Then to save it, and you go to Export, and then you can choose where you're going to save it. Because I print from my phone, I can either go straight to print or I can save the image. And with my selfie, I save the image, that puts it in my camera roll, and then I go to my selfie printing app and I pull it up out of my camera roll and I print it. Super, super easy. Okay?
You might have recognized those photos from some that my sparkly friend scrapbooked recently, but I wanted to make sure that all of that information was right here in the same video for you to reference. Now, I did mention at the end there that to print with my selfie printer, I would save to my camera roll, but I do exactly the same if I'm ordering prints. So I'll get these ordered and then I can carry on preparing my album.